Today, I'm going to share with you a very simple and basic technique that you can do anywhere at any time that will help you to regulate your emotions. It'll bring you into a state of present moment awareness, mental clarity, relaxation within the body, and it will help you to move forward from a more empowered state. My name is Carolyn Yakupich, and welcome to my YouTube channel. So today I'm going to talk to you more in depth about the power of the breath and when we are dysregulated in our breath, what that looks like and what occurs in our life when this happens. Now, I have a history myself where I have had anxiety, and it was something that I went for treatment for. And when I found this practice, or when it found me, my life completely changed. I suffered from panic attacks. I would get to the point where I would panic so much that I would pass out. And so this high state of anxiety literally brought me to a state where I lost control. Yet I was really doing everything I could to control how I was feeling, that the tension caused me to go into this state of passing out. And it was really uncomfortable every time that I experienced it because I could feel it coming on, and then the panic would be there, and then my breath would get more shallow and more shortened, and I would contract more and my body would tense, and then everything, all the energy just went up into my head, and I couldn't stop thinking about how to prevent it from happening, how to stop. Oh my God, there's people around. What's going to happen to me? Am I going to pass out again? It was like this domino effect where the anxiety just amped up and got completely out of control. And what I can say is that yoga saved my life. Breathing saved my life. And breathing, if you're not breathing in yoga, you're not actually doing yoga. There's 8 limbs to it, and one of the limbs of yoga is breathing. It's pranayama. So it's different breathwork patterns to release emotions in your body, to get you into a relaxed state within the body. And so when I learned this breath, I was actually in high school and I was in drama class. And so this was my first experience. I think I was around 15, 16 years old. And I remember we laid down on our backs and we placed a book on our chest and a book on our belly. And our job in this exercise was to focus on breathing only in the belly and moving the breath away from the chest. And a lot of this also helped us to work with our voice and how to project from the lower part of our belly, from our power center. So there were layers to this learning, yet this was my first introduction to a full yogic breath, which then I learned in yoga a few years later when I did my training, and it served me on so many levels to regulate myself when I was in that dysregulated, disempowered state. And so this breath has really helped me to move from my mind, which was overactive, into my body, and to become aware of the sensations that were going on in my body, and to bring me into that state of presence. Because when we move into that state of panic or anxiety, we're projecting into the future based on the past experience that we've had. And you just heard me say exactly that. I said, oh my God, is it going to happen again? Am I going to pass out? There's people around. I don't want to pass out right now. It's like I went into this state of panic based on what had happened before in my life. And so this quick breath practice that can be accessed anytime, in public, by yourself, it doesn't matter, sitting in a car, standing up, wherever you are, you can do this breath. It will help to bring you back into center, into a relaxed state. And when our breath pattern is dysregulated, it can cause many different maladies in the body. So it can cause disease, it can cause illness. If you think about someone who is on their way out of the earthly plane and they are dying, their breath becomes very shallow and shortened and in the chest, right? And so they're taking many more breaths per minute. And in the yogic tradition, it says the less breaths per minute that we breathe, the more vital we are, the more energetic we are, and the more life force, more prana. Prana is our life force energy, which is carried by the breath. The more life force energy we have, that means we're more vital. And so this practice of breathing will help to cultivate slower, longer breath patterns so that when we take an inhale and an exhale, it'll take a longer amount of time, which means we will be breathing less breaths per minute. And then the result will be bringing us into a more vital state, having more energy, more capacity. And another aspect of breathing that I've found really interesting is that when I don't get proper sleep, when I don't feel well rested or I'm burnt out, I really struggle to find my breath. I notice I'm not breathing. I'm not actively of course I'm breathing, I'm still here, but I'm not in that relaxed state. It's like I'm catching my breath. And so I always look at that as an invitation to come back to the deep breathing, to tap into my breath so that I can find that regulated state and so I can recalibrate my energy. So in this practice, we can simply bring our awareness first to our bodies. And once we come into our body, meaning we're not in our head and all the thoughts aren't, flowing through and then we're being pulled in all directions, we stop and we bring ourselves into the awareness. How does my body feel? And then bringing ourselves into the awareness of where is my breath in my body. And most of the time, when we're in the stress state, we find that our breath is up into the chest and into our neck muscles, which is why a lot of people hold their tension up here. A lot of people are walking around with very tense muscles, the weight of the world on their shoulders, because they're in a stress state. And it's in a habitual state of consciousness that they are in because that's what they know. So these are our secondary muscles of breathing. And when we're in these muscles here, we're bypassing the diaphragm, the lungs, the lower part of our lungs, where we're filling everything up into our belly and expanding and then opening ourselves to our full capacity of breath, which then will bring us into a relaxed state of being. And when we're in that relaxed state of being, we're present, we're open to receive, we're clear in our mind, and we're able to function in a more sustainable manner and output our energy in a more sustainable way. So I'm going to briefly share about this breathing that is dysregulated, that is in the upper part of the body. Typically, this happens through stress. It happens through trauma. I know there were multiple times in my life, say when a teacher would yell or a parent would get angry, and it's like, it's like that shock, right? And if you think about every time a child is shocked, And it happens in adulthood too, yet we create our patterns and our habits from the age of 0 to 7. And our analytical mind isn't formed yet, so we can't perceive what is actually happening on an analytical level. And so we take in everything as reality. So when these shocks happen, it causes this stress state, and it's like the emotions take over the body. So if you think about the amount of times in life where there is shock or there's stress or there's tension, and right, the breath goes up and up and up. And so the inhale starts to find its place where it lives in the upper body, in the chest. And typically, when we're breathing correctly in a natural, relaxed, and healthy manner, our inhale finds its way first into the abdomen, into the belly, and into the lungs, and into the diaphragm, and everything ends up being lower and relaxed. And so the other aspect of the breath coming up is that it actually cuts off our feeling. So a lot of the times people walk around in the world breathing very shallow because they don't want to feel. If you think about, even like our sex center is down here, and it's like expanding into this area, is like opening the portal of our creativity. And we store all of our repressed emotions in the lower three centers, from the solar plexus down, through the navel, through the sex center, through the root, the perineum. Everything down here in these areas, things just become swallowed and repressed and repressed and repressed. And so the moment that we address our breath and we bring it down into these lower centers, it starts to wake things up again. Right? And the beauty, though, of this is that when we start to wake these areas up again, it releases the emotions. Yes, we may feel more. Yes, it may feel uncomfortable to feel things that we've held down for so long. Yet the liberation and the freedom that we feel on the other side of that, as these emotions, which are energy in motion, but not in motion when they're repressed, so they become again in motion, and they translate and transform into energy, which then expands our whole field, our capacity. It clears our body, and this will strengthen our life force energy. It makes us more available to receive information. It takes us straight out of our mind and into our bodies. And when we come into our bodies, we have command over our energy again. We are able to direct the breath where it needs to go in order for us to show up strong and present and aware. And from that state of awareness and presence, we can create whatever we want, because now it is a new moment. We are not relaying the past memory into the future based on our trauma, based on our stress, based on our shallow breathing, where we're all contracted and there's no room for anything else to get in because we're holding it so tight and micromanaging everything. And now we're all in our head. And now, relax and let it go. And when we let it go, we soften. We become available. We become open. We become more intuitive. And when we become more intuitive, we are then able to receive guidance and then act on that guidance, which means we are now moving in a state of alignment. Alignment with our heart, alignment with our soul, alignment with our higher self and our guidance, alignment with the universe, and we move into that state of flow. So it's really important for us to move in that state of flow, to allow our breath to also flow. And this will create the conditions for us to be in that state. So I'm going to go over this breath pattern with you now so that you can do it at any time when you require stillness, centeredness, when you're scattered in the mind or feeling anxious or feeling tired and depleted. It's really helpful to come back to re-engage your own energy through the breath. And remember, we want to slow the breath down, which means we want to take it in more softly, more gently, without force. We put our energy behind it without force, our intention behind it without force. So I invite you to take a moment and get comfortable wherever you're at. If you're seated, if you're standing, take a moment and notice where your breath is moving in your body. And to really take this practice inward, I invite you to close your eyes. Bring your right hand on your belly, your left hand on your chest. Now notice your inhale and notice your exhale. Where does the inhale move? Where does the exhale move? What happens in your body as you breathe? So now collectively, we will move into this long, deep yogic breath to create a sense of relaxation within the body, to center ourselves. So I invite you now to exhale through your nose and let your belly come in, like the navel will come in towards the spine. As you inhale, feel your belly expand out into your right hand. Exhale, relax your belly, draw your navel in. Inhale through your nose, expand your belly in all directions. Exhale, relax your belly, draw your navel in. The breath remains in and out through your nose. Inhale, expand your belly. Exhale, relax your belly. Again, inhale, expand your belly. Feel the expansion wrap around your waist into your lower back. Exhale, relax your belly. Draw your navel in. Again, inhale, expand into your belly. Fill your lower body with breath. Exhale, draw your navel in. Take a few more rounds of breath. And really slow your breath pattern down. Take it in gently and softly. Exhale fully when you're ready. Again, inhale through your belly and now into your rib cage. Exhale, relax between your rib cage, relax your belly, draw your navel in. Inhale, expand your belly between your rib cage. Exhale, relax your rib cage, relax your belly. Your chest remains still. Inhale, expand your belly in all directions into the sides of your rib cage. Exhale, relax between your ribs, relax your belly. Take a couple of more breaths and focus on these two areas. And see if you can fill yourself up when you inhale all the way around into your lower back and your mid back, expanding the lower parts of your body. And as you exhale, relaxing everything and drawing the navel in. Again, exhale completely. And now inhale, expand your belly between your ribs and into your chest, just to the collarbones. Exhale, relax your chest, your rib cage, and your belly. Inhale through your nose softly and gently and slowly. Exhale through your nose softly and completely. Again, inhale, expand your belly between your ribs into your chest. Exhale, relax your chest between your ribs and relax your belly. Inhale, expand your belly, your rib cage, and your chest. Exhale, relax your chest between your ribs. Relax your belly. And take a couple of more breaths here. And it's really helpful to keep the eyes closed as you practice this breath, to feel what is happening internally, to sense the flow of your energy, of your prana, which is being carried by the breath, and to notice the sensations as you breathe. And as you inhale and the belly expands and the breath moves up, the belly will continue to expand to its full capacity. As you exhale and everything relaxes, the belly and navel will come all the way in, gently relaxed. Take one more full breath. And at the end of your next exhale, gently release your palms into your lap, faced upward. Notice your energy. Notice any sensations within and without. And very softly and gently bring yourself back into the space and open your eyes. So I had you close your eyes for this practice so that you could feel what was happening internally as you're retraining your body to breathe in this relaxed manner. And this breath will help to activate the parasympathetic nervous system, which is responsible for rest and digest within the body. And typically when we're in this upper part and breathing dysregulated, we are in the fight or flight, the sympathetic nervous system. And a lot of the times that is turned on almost nonstop with people running through the world. So this is an invitation that when you may notice yourself in this dysregulated state or feeling stressed or feeling anxious, that you can come back to this breath awareness, to this pattern. If you have the space to place one hand on your belly and one hand at your chest, it's really helpful in the beginning to get the movement, to get that mind-body connection linked in as you retrain your body from moving into an inhale up into the upper body and pulling the belly in and then exhaling, letting it all out, which is the opposite of this deep breathing. So this is retraining you to come into that regulated state, to find your center, to find that stillness, which will bring you into a state of mental clarity so that you'll be ready to move forward in your life from that aligned state. So thank you so much for joining me today. I'd love to hear from you in the comments if this was helpful, what your experience was, if you have any questions. And if this was helpful for you, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I will be sharing more content like this very soon.